AngularJS is a very powerful JavaScript framework. It is used in single-page application (SPA) projects. It extends HTML DOM with additional attributes and makes it more responsive to user actions. AngularJS is open source, completely free, and used by thousands of developers around the world. It is licensed under the Apache License version 2.0. Prerequisites: you should have a basic understanding of JavaScript and any text editor. As we are going to develop web-based applications using AngularJS, it will be good if you have an understanding of other web technologies such as HTML, CSS, Ajax, etc. What is AngularJS? AngularJS is an open-source web application framework. It was originally developed in 2009 by Misko Hevery and Adam Abrams. It is now maintained by Google. Its latest version is 1.4.3. Definition of AngularJS as put by its official documentation is as follows: AngularJS is a structural framework for dynamic web apps. It lets you use HTML as your template language and lets you extend HTML's syntax to express your application's components clearly and succinctly. Angular's data binding and dependency injection eliminate much of the code you currently have to write. And it all happens within the browser, making it an ideal partner with any server technology. Features: AngularJS is a powerful JavaScript-based development framework to create rich Internet application (RIA). AngularJS provides developers options to write client-side application, using JavaScript, in a clean MVC model view controller way. Application written in AngularJS is cross-browser compliant. AngularJS automatically handles JavaScript code suitable for each browser. AngularJS is open source, completely free, and used by thousands of developers around the world. It is licensed under the Apache License version 2.0. Overall, AngularJS is a framework to build large-scale and high-performance web application while keeping them as easy to maintain. Core features. Following are most important core features of AngularJS-. Data binding-. It is the automatic synchronization of data between model and view components. Scope-. These are objects that refer to the model. They act as a glue between controller and view. Controller-. These are JavaScript functions that are bound to a particular scope. Services-. AngularJS come with several built-in services, for example $HTTPS, to make XML HTTP requests. These are singleton objects which are instantiated only once in app. Filters-. These select a subset of items from an array and returns a new array. Directives-. Directives are markers on DOM elements, such as elements, attributes, CSS, and more. These can be used to create custom HTML tags that serve as new, custom widgets. AngularJS has built-in directives, ngbind, ngModel, templates-. These are the rendered view with information from the controller and model. These can be a single file, like index.html, or multiple views in one page using partials. Routing-. It is concept of switching views. Model view. Whatever MVC is a design pattern for dividing an application into different parts, called model, view and controller, each with distinct responsibilities. AngularJS does not implement MVC in the traditional sense, but rather something closer to MVVM, model view view model. The AngularJS team refers it humorously as model view whatever. Deep linking. Deep linking allows you to encode the state of application in the URL so that it can be bookmarked. The application can then be restored from the URL to the same state. Dependency injection. AngularJS has a built-in dependency injection subsystem that helps the developer by making the application easier to develop, understand, and test. Advantages of AngularJS. AngularJS provides capability to create single-page application in a very clean and maintainable way. AngularJS provides data binding capability to HTML, thus giving user a rich and responsive experience. AngularJS code is unit testable. AngularJS uses dependency injection and make use of separation of concerns. AngularJS provides reusable components. With AngularJS, developer write less code and get more functionality. In AngularJS, views are pure HTML, and controllers written in JavaScript do the business processing. On top of everything, AngularJS applications can run on all major browsers and smartphones including Android and iOS-based phones, tablets. Disadvantages of AngularJS. Though AngularJS comes with lots of plus points, but same time we should consider the following points: not secure, being JavaScript-only framework, application written in AngularJS are not safe. Server-side authentication and authorization is must to keep an application secure. Not degradable, if your application user disables JavaScript, then user will just see the basic page and nothing more. AngularJS extends HTML. AngularJS extends HTML with ng directives. The ng app directive defines an AngularJS application. The ng model directive binds the value of HTML controls, input, select, textria, to application data. The ng bind directive binds application data to the HTML view. The AngularJS components. The AngularJS framework can be divided into following three major parts: ng app - this directive defines and links an AngularJS application to HTML. ng model - this directive binds the values of AngularJS application data to HTML input controls. ng bind - this directive binds the AngularJS application data to HTML tags. You really do not need to set up your own environment to start learning AngularJS. Reason is very simple: we already have set up AngularJS environment online, so that you can execute all the available examples online at the same time when you are doing your theory work. This gives you confidence in what you are reading and to check the result with different options. Feel free to modify any example and execute it online. AngularJS example. Now let us write a simple example using AngularJS library. Let us create an HTML file: myfirstexample.html. Type HTML. HTML script src equals ajax.googleapis.com. Web link ng app equals pname. Input type equals text. ng model equals name/pp. ng bind equals name/p/div/body/html. Before we start with creating actual Hello World application using AngularJS, let us see what are the actual parts of an AngularJS application. An AngularJS application consists of following three important parts: ng app - this directive defines and links an AngularJS application to HTML. ng model - this directive binds the values of AngularJS application data to HTML input controls. ng bind - this directive binds the AngularJS application data to HTML tags. AngularJS starts automatically when the web page has loaded. The ng app directive tells AngularJS that the development is the owner of an AngularJS application. The ng model directive binds the value of the input field to the application variable name. The ng bind directive binds the inert of the p element to the application variable name. AngularJS directives. AngularJS directives are used to extend HTML. These are special attributes starting with ng prefix. We are going to discuss following directives: ng app - this directive starts an AngularJS application. ng init - this directive initializes application data. ng model - this directive binds the values of AngularJS application data to HTML input controls. ng repeat - this directive repeats HTML elements for each item in a collection. ng app directive. ng app directive starts an AngularJS application. It defines the root element. It automatically initializes or bootstraps the application when web page containing AngularJS application is loaded. It is also used to load various AngularJS modules and AngularJS application. In following example, we've defined a default AngularJS application using ngapp attribute of a development. Div ngapp equals /div ng-init directive. ng-init directive initializes an AngularJS application data. It is used to put values to the variables to be used in the application. In following example, we'll initialize an array of countries. We're using JSON syntax to define array of countries. Div ngapp equals ng-init equals countries equals locale NUS comma name United States, locale NGB, name United Kingdom, locale NFR, name France, /div ng model directive. This directive binds the values of AngularJS application data to HTML input controls. In following example, we've defined a model named name. Div ngapp equals p enter your name, input type equals text ng model equals name /p /div ng repeat directive. ng repeat directive repeats HTML elements for each item in a collection. In following example, we've iterated over array of countries. Div ngapp equals p list of countries with locale /p. Ng repeat equals country in countries. Country plus country.name plus comma locale plus country.locale /li /div AngularJS expressions. Expressions are used to bind application data to HTML. Expressions are written inside double braces like expression. Expressions behaves in same way as ng-bind directives. AngularJS application expressions are pure JavaScript expressions and outputs the data where they are used. Using numbers. P expense on books, cost quantity, R'(s/p). Using strings. P hello, student.firstname ++ student.lastname, /p. Using object. P roll number, student.rollno/p. Using array. P marks math, marks 3/p. Example. Following example will showcase all the above mentioned expressions. Test AngularJS.html. HTML. Head. Title AngularJS expressions, title. /head. Body. H1 sample application /h1. Div ngapp equals ng-init equals quantity equals 1, cost equals 30, student equals, first name Mahesh, last name Parish, roll no :101, marks equals, 80, 90, 75, 73, 60. P hello, student.firstname ++ student.lastname, /p. P expense on books, cost quantity, R'(s/p. P roll number, student.rollno/p. P marks math, marks 3/p. /div. Script src equals ajax.googleapis.com web link. /body. /html. Output. Open text AngularJS.html in a web browser. See the result. Steps to create AngularJS application. Step 1 - load framework. Being a pure JavaScript framework, it can be added using script tag. Script src equals ajax.googleapis.com web link. 2 - define AngularJS application using ngapp directive. Div ngapp equals /div. Step 3 - define a model name using ng model directive. P enter your name, input type equals text ng model equals name /p. Step 4 - bind the value of above model defined using ng-bind directive. P hello span ng-bind equals name /span !p. Use above mentioned 3 steps in an HTML page. Test AngularJS.html. HTML head title AngularJS first application, title /head body h1 sample application /h1 div ngapp equals p enter your name, Input type equals text ng model equals name slash pp hello span ng bind equals name slash span exclamation mark slash p slash div script src equals ajax.googleapis.com web link slash body slash html. In this tutorial we are only covered basics of AngularJS. More detailed concept of AngularJS coming soon. Thank you.